Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go through, and for this video we're going to show you guys how to create a quick project and how to go online with your GE RX3i controller. So first, let's open up Proficy. My product key has already been plugged in and the red light is glowing before I opened up Proficy. This box pops up. I'm just going to hit cancel. Brings up my main screen. I have my info viewer opened up, my navigator on the left hand side, as well as my inspector window. Right now we're just going to go into the navigator window. I'm going to right click on my computer. I'm doing this to create a new project. I go down to new project. This box pops up. What would I like to call my new project? I'm just going to call this online demo. What's my template? It's a GE Intelligent Platforms PAC Systems RX3i. I want this to be stored on my computer. So I'm going to hit OK. Screen pops up. I'm going to go over into my navigator window. I'm going to expand this window a little bit. I can change the name of my target to say job 1. There's no need for me to change it right now. I'm just going to leave it as target 1. I want to scroll down into my hardware configuration. I'm going to open up rack 0. I notice it's 12 slots. I only need 7. So I'm going to come up here, I'm going to right click on rack 0. I'm going to go to replace rack. I want to replace it with a 7-slot universal backplane. I've done that. Next, I notice in slot 2 it has a CPE 330. We're using a CPE 305. So I'm going to right click on that. I'm going to go down to replace module. I'm replacing that with an IC695 CPE 305. Double click on that. Gonna hit yes when this box pops up. All right, next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna hit the plus sign next to slot 2. I see Ethernet there. I'm going to double click on Ethernet. This starts off with the status address starting at %I1. I don't want it to start there because that's where my first input's going to be. So I'm just going to triple click on this. When this box pops up, I'm just going to take this little cursor, slide it over here about midway. That's perfectly fine for what we're doing in our class. Hit OK. We're going to come back and put the IP address in the subnet. We have to figure out what the IP address is on the controller and my computer first before we can do that. But what we can do next is I can finish installing my modules. Mine are going to be a little bit different than yours. I'm just going to put a simulator module in my slot 3. This is where you guys would put your discrete input module. We'd right click on slot 3, go to add module. We'd click on discrete input. We'd scroll down and you guys would select the IC694 MDL230. I'm going to select the simulator though. Double click on that. I'm going to double click on my reference address, whether you're using the simulator or your input module. Always double click on the reference address and make sure it starts on %I1 and hit OK. Lastly, I have an output module. I'm going to right click on slot 4, go to add module. I'm going to go to discrete output. I'm going to scroll down. Second to last selection, the IC694 MDL940. I double click on it. I check to make sure that my reference address starts at Q1. It does. I have these asterisks next to my different devices. That means I have made changes and haven't saved them yet. I'm just going to go up and hit the save disk. After that, I'm going to double click on Ethernet. I have to find my IP address. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to minimize Proficy, double click on NetScan, my range. First I'm going to scan from 192.168.0.0 to 192.168.0 to .255. I'm going to hit start scanning. I have my wireless on, so I'm getting all of these goofy readings, so I'm going to stop scanning, force this off, close this down, shut my Wi-Fi off, open NetScan back up again. I'll start this scan again. Now I only have two popping up. I'm not sure which one's which. It says a MAC address here. I look at the MAC address on my PLC. The MAC address for my PLC is 0009102F8D0. I don't see that MAC address on here. So one of these must be my computer. To confirm what my computer IP address is, I'm going to go down, I'm going to right click. In this case, I'm on airplane mode because I shut my Wi-Fi off. I'm going to go to Open Network and Internet Settings. I'm going to go over here, click on Ethernet. Come over here and change adapter options. Double click on Ethernet. I can just click on details here to see what my IP address is. Okay. Well, I only had one other IP address pop up, and it didn't have the right MAC address for my PLC. So I'm going to click on Properties, double click on Internet Protocol version 4. My third digit is a 0, and I didn't get the IP address for my PLC. So I'm going to change this third digit just to a 1. Maybe the IP address for my PLC is 192.168.1. some other number. So I'm going to hit OK to make this change, hit OK again, close this out, exit out of all of these windows. I'm going to come back into my NetScan and change my third digit to a 1, and scan again. Here's my laptop computer that I just changed my IP address to. Here's my PLC with the matching MAC address. Once again, this can only be done if power is applied to your PLC and you have an Ethernet connection between your laptop and the PLC. So now I know what my PLC IP address is. So I'm going to go back into Proficy. I can type in that IP address, 192.168.1.131. The subnet mask we're going to be using is 255.255.255.0. I hit enter. I've made changes. There's asterisks here. I'm going to hit save. If I scroll up here, I click on my target 1. I then want to come down in the inspector window. Under physical port, make sure it says Ethernet, and then next to IP address, I want to type the IP address that I typed in my hardware configuration. I want this to match the IP address that I'm typing in down here. So 192.168.1.131. I hit enter. Just to make sure that these are going to talk to each other before I try to go online, if I right click on the window down here in the bottom left, my Windows PowerShell pops up. If I click on that, this is the same as using the command prompt. I hit yes. This pops up. I'm going to type in IP config to see what my IP configuration is. I hit enter. I see Internet Protocol version 4. It's telling me my IP address right here for my computer. I want to make sure that this computer is talking to that PLC, so I'll type ping space, and then I'm going to type the IP address in that I'm trying to communicate to, 192.168.1.131, and I hit enter. The ping's going to send out 4 separate pings. 1, 2, 3, 4. It sent 4 packets and it received 4 packets. So they are communicating. I can close out of this. Now to go online, I want to make sure that whatever target I'm going online with, that's set as my active target. So I'd right click on that. I'd hit set as active target. Well, now I'm ready to go online. So I go up to target. I'm going to hit the connect button. I can see down here my feedback zone. It connected to the device. It's updated to the current current firmware. Down in the bottom here, I've got a blue diamond with a red X. I'm in monitor mode. Stop is disabled. My configuration is not equal, and my logic is not equal. Sweep is 0.0 milliseconds. It is not scanning the program. I would go up. I need to go into programmer mode. I select programmer mode. The blue diamond turns to a green diamond. There's still a red X there. Why? Because my configuration is not equal and my logic is not equal. I need to make those equal. By doing that, I'm going to click download. It's going to ask me, what do you want to download? I want to download my hardware configuration and my logic. I hit OK. Download complete, 0 errors, 0 warnings. That's what we want to see. Notice my sweep is still 0 because I haven't put it in run mode. To put it in run mode, you would go up and hit start. We want to enable our outputs, so I hit OK. Run enabled. My program is now scanning. This program would run. You are online, ready to execute the program. Guys, that's how you go online and download with the GE RX3i.